Nikki.
Hey, Salina. How's that pork tasting?
Good. This is what happens when you buy delicious treats.
I know. I'm sorry.
Could there be a better cue up for extra sugar than talking about delicious treats?
That's what we were aiming for.
You seeing me just like lick a plate. I don't know. Casey watches me lick my plate every night after dinner.
He knows what he married.
I am super attractive. Welcome.
Thank you.
This is welcome to you too.
Okie dokie.
Well, you've been welcome for 5 hours now. This week, this extra sugar, we are talking about Sex and the City's fifth main character. It is none other than the one, the only New York City. But let's be clear, really Manhattan, which the show largely favored, of the city's 5 boroughs.
Boroughs.
Boroughs. That is the southern version, I believe.
That is correct.
Sex and the City tells us full-throatedly, this is first and foremost a New York City show. From the opening shot in the pilot, the audience is literally brought into the city. The woman from Carrie's cautionary tale has arrived. We have also arrived. Within minutes, we are reminded of its iconic status in movies like Breakfast at Tiffany's and An Affair to Remember. And actually, what's been really amazing?
What?
A real sea change for us. Mm-hmm. We are treated to scenes outside of a soundstage.
Good point. Yeah.
Does it feel like you're roaming free a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
Like I've got room,
Yeah, that's a very good point. I had been thinking about, and we'll get to it later, but things that had been filmed in New York City, and this one brings a very unique vibe because you actually feel like you're in the city, not some approximation of the city.
Yeah, it's there was something about designing women that felt very claustrophobic because we did not leave that.
You mean it was Sugar Bakers?
I guess so. Yes. And then there was something about Golden Girls, we had an alumni now, we moved from the kitchen to the living room. Things were just,
really barreling along.
Yes. There was a tiny bit of movement. And suddenly, we are traversing all around Manhattan. Eventually, we work our way around a little bit of the other boroughs. We are just on the move. Mm-hmm. And I do think that is important to think about that pacing. Mm-hmm. Because that pacing is kind of how that fifth character shows up. Because when we are in those smaller neighborhoods, it is a little bit more leisurely. Mm-hmm. The sun is shining. There's kids playing hopscotch. But then if you are down there, in the financial district, it's hustle bustle.
It's gritty.
Yeah. It's just a little bit of a different feeling. The streets are way more crowded. So I think that is a really smart way that the show goes about it. I digress because New York City has many names. They are the Big Apple, the one that never sleeps. It's the greatest city on earth and the center of the universe. And while some of these monikers are debatable, one thing is for certain, it is the center of the Sex and the City universe. So today, I thought I'd share some facts about the show and the city, and then we could give our fifth character its own miniature deep dive treatment. Perhaps we'll end with some of our own personal thoughts about New York City.
We'll see.
Okay.
If there's time.
I also feel weird I've said New York City more in the past 3 minutes than I've said in the last 3 years. That's okay. So, pipe in any time, as always. Let's start with what I'm calling 6 imperfectly arranged facts about New York City and Sex and the City. See, 6 is very specific because it's what I was able to find. Okay. That wasn't stupid.
Okay, perfect.
Maybe. I don't know.
Time will tell.
So one thing is, and it wouldn't have been quite appropriate for your segment on the cultural footprint. It would be more adjacent. But the show did put many things and places on the map in New York City. So most notably, and considering its longevity at this point, you got to mention Magnolia Bakery. This is a mainstay tourist destination. We are introduced to the bakery through, sorry to say, one you haven't seen yet, but Carrie and Miranda, who indulge in cupcakes there in season 3, episode 5. Even the bakery's website credits the show for kicking off the world's, quote, cupcake craze and creating lines down the block. Incidentally, this is why I've never gone, because its reputation does carry a lot of longevity. And I'd heard about it many times before I had gone up there. And then I was just like, I'm not doing that. Have you heard of Magnolia Bakery?
I have, yeah. Okay. I don't think that one has made it on my list of places to go, though. Levain. I would say Levain because French, but Levain, that one's always been on my list. So I went to that one. And there's one more I couldn't remember. Another one that I was pretty sure was involved in Sex and the City. It was more of a diner sort of situation.
Okay.
And Kyle and I did end up getting reservations there. I'm going to have to Google that one while you're talking.
Okay. Yeah, we'll
Carry
get Googling. Okay, so, well, if you are into potentially what could be a long line, but also I hear not only great cupcakes, but good banana pudding, you can check out Magnolia Bakery at 401 Bleecker Street.
Okay.
So we'll also link to some other iconic locations that the show visited, including where you can see the exterior of Carrie's apartment. And believe it or not, all these years later, there are several tours of these spots if you feel so inclined. And some of them are really into the weeds. So congratulations to everyone involved. Number 2, Sex and the City subtly addressed the 9/11 tragedy. So, Nikki, you mentioned this, I want to say in the season opener, and I'll recap very quickly that what we're talking about here is season 4, episode 18, I Love New York. It was written, developed, and filmed beforehand. That is true, but the end added a tribute that read dedicated to our city of New York, then, now, and forever. And so since this was already written, I don't know. It just hits different after 9/11. This is some of Carrie's narration, and I noted this down because I think it's worth hearing again. It was official. A new season had begun. Maybe our mistakes are what make our fate. Without them, what would shape our lives? Perhaps if we never veered off course, we wouldn't fall in love or have babies or be who we are. After all, seasons change. So do the cities. People come into your life and people go. But it's comforting to know the ones you love are always in your heart. And if you're very lucky, a plane ride away. If that was written before and they did not tack that on to the end, that is the most amazing thing I've ever read. Because it couldn't be more on the nose than that. It even mentions planes. So, in the aftermath of the attacks, and you alluded to some of this, including one I didn't know in that scene with Samantha and Richard and the Twin Towers getting taken out of the back. So that they also removed that from the opening credits. I mentioned that to say that, like, I do remember this being a thing. Show producers for several shows were trying to figure out what to do with a lot of shows with the backdrop of New York City. And I remember it being a big deal on Friends, and that kind of like making its way into like pop culture news cycle. And then according to interviews, they also for Sex and the City shifted the tone of the show from a more giddy era to a more serious portrayal of New York. So I guess that's something that we could be on the lookout for. But that would be really season 5 and 6 then. Yeah. Because that was the last episode of that season. And so number 3, I'm not sure if it's related or not, but in the very next episode, it is one of my least favorite episodes of the show, to be honest. Season 5, episode 1, Anchors Away. Carrie announces the city is her one true love and that it's her longest relationship. And then over the course of the episode, she continues to draw comparisons between theirs and real relationships, only to determine womp womp, it's also dysfunctional. But there's something about like this, it just feels like a little bit of a continuation, like I Love New York, you know. Number 4, here are some ways that Sex and the City absolutely nails New York City, according to New Yorkers and not me, because what would I know? Now, one of these you already noted, I think also in our season opener, which is this is the home of nothing will shock you. New Yorkers remain unfazed, unbothered, and unbroken. I don't care what you're carrying. I don't care what you're wearing. I don't care what you're writing. I don't care who you're writing. They've seen it. There's literally nothing you can do. I would say that's also true for metropolitan areas. If you live in Atlanta, you will hear people say Atlanta is not a real place. And I am here to tell you that is true. It is not. It is very strange sometimes. And
very unserious.
We are also unfazed, unbothered, and unbroken. But New York, you invented it. Congratulations.
I live in the suburbs. I'm very phased, very, very broken, very bothered.
If you don't occasionally step over human feces, Nikki, are you living?
Oh, God.
So you mentioned this too, I think, which is like small town vibe.
Yeah.
You're gonna, that actually might be the one that you mentioned. Like, this is like super realistic to just continuously kind of run into people that you know in these like small neighborhoods. There's also like the lifestyle and energy. People felt like that was captured very well. And that is the energy of looking. Okay. You are looking for a job. You are looking for your person. You are looking for a place to live. Accurate. There's also this like late night and midweek socializing. Also accurate. I do feel like that's an age thing, but
sure.
New York has long standing been this place of nightlife and like even later nightlife really than almost everywhere else. Yes. And like in this day and age, it doesn't feel like a big deal, right? Uber Eats.
Oh, right.
You know, all that, the dash passes, all of those things that you can do to get food all the time. First of all, that's really only been around the last handful of years in quite this like pervasive way it is now. But New York was always the place where you could go get pizza late. You know, you could get Chinese late. That was always a thing that the rest of us didn't really have access to. And so that did make them singular. They did a good job with neighborhood identity as well. So highlighting these distinct areas. So Cary in the West Village, Charlotte in the Upper East Side, all of these things. Number 5, Sex and the City era New York City is not necessarily today's New York City. So the meatpacking district, when Samantha moves there in later seasons, this is an up and coming neighborhood or what people sometimes call like a transitional neighborhood. The meatpacking district has long been wildly popular at this point. Tons of nightlife, and it's also like a reigning bachelorette party location. Not quite what you see portrayed back in those Sex and the City days. Brooklyn, this, let's call it back then was the borough non grata. And it's been chic for years and years now. And many times their prices and everything else are right on point with Manhattan. And some even actually complain that the show was really late to the Brooklyn party. It was already having its renaissance towards the end of the run. The West Village where Cary lived is pretty much unaffordable now. The idea was like, that was somewhere where you could have rent controlled apartments and things like that. And then the Upper East Side, that was Charlotte's neighborhood. Once some of the most expensive real estate on the island, is supposedly, from what I read, and relatively affordable now for Manhattan. So there is that. And then our final fact, number 6, the show is also infamous for getting things about the city wrong. So cool. You've mentioned this, and it's a good point. It's hard to not watch the show and not think this, but the finances. I mean, I'm going to say this. Does anyone ever get this right on TV?
No, because that's not the point.
It's not the point, but it's almost like people don't want to escape their own economic hardships to spend time with other people in their economic hardships. Right. You know, I think it's a lot about like leaving your daily life. I digress though, because it is fair to say that Cary could not reasonably afford her West Village apartment, designer clothes, and constant shopping off of minimal freelancing and a once weekly column. That would be tough. But people also wanted like more subway action, not the sandwich, but the transportation. So this is like this.
Not the sandwich.
Maybe the sandwich. But really, do they? At least go for Jersey Mike's, you know?
You're so uppity. So bougie, this one.
I don't want yoga mat in my bread, and suddenly I'm the problem. So I mean, I think, they wanted to see more of the women on the subway, and there was something about whether or not they could comfortably afford cabs all the time.
Yeah.
I think 3 of the 4 of them could.
Yeah.
But subways are a New York City institution. That might also be why they weren't on them. Because then I think you would have had to have a soundstage situation. That would have upended like all of their transportation in the city to do filming there. But the show's obvious preference for Manhattan openly ignored the other boroughs and created this perception that these were not desirable places to live or work. And then for being in one of the most diverse cities on the planet, the cast and characters were all very white, mainly affluent, and largely heterosexual. So this is something, I mentioned this in one of our previous episodes, but And Just Like That spent 3 seasons attempting to undo, because I think people involved with the show did realize that was part and parcel to the 90s, but they wanted to fix it.
Modernize it.
Yes. Anything before we move on? Okay. So let's give it just a little bit of that character deep dive treatment, since we are calling this what they called it, which is the fifth main character. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to know, do you have a favorite use of the city across the episodes that you've seen so far? Anything that just really worked for you?
I think there are kind of two. This concept of, quote, love in the big city. So they've positioned it as this thing that all women in New York City experience. So Carrie talked about this in the first episode. Like, how can there be so many available, wonderful women and so few available and kind of crappy men, or something like that? I can't remember exactly how she said it. But I do feel like by putting that concept in New York City, it's sort of this reminder to the everyday woman that, like, this is a challenge that even the cool women in New York City are facing. So you're not unique if you're struggling with this. Do you know what I mean?
I do, yeah.
I kind of appreciated that. And then I also liked that they used New York City in kind of a different way depending on the character you're talking about. And in particular, I think about Charlotte. It's like romanticizing New York City. Like, she gets, like you said, in my like old brain, Upper East Side is still like Zsa sort of stuff. Like, that's where Mrs. Maisel lived in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, right? Like, very Central Park, the Trump Towers, or Trump whatever that place is called is there. The Plaza Hotel, all those things are there. It's very Zsa. And so I like that they use the city to kind of serve the character in ways too.
I love that. I think probably my favorite across the episode so far has been Carrie's love life getting entangled in a real estate deal in Ring-a-Ding-Ding.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, I mean, there was something so smart about using housing, this real issue, and her and Aiden trying to expand their space while also is like this almost metaphor for like expanding their relationship and the seriousness of it. And then it winds up highlighting other issues in their relationship. Incidentally, it leads to one of my favorite and most epic fights over the 5 half-empty deodorants and the secret stash of Rogaine. And I will tell you, as someone who has now lived with a man for 18 years, that 5 deodorants thing is real. I stopped the tape and I played it back for Casey. And I said, this is what you do.
This is it.
And he was like, different scents.
Just depends on the day.
I mean, my God. I also, like, the way that you're talking about neighborhoods, I feel that way about the food use in New York. I feel like there's everybody eating all the time feels like this really, like, New York City is a foodie town.
Yeah.
And I think they do a good job putting the individual women and even the couples in the right dining locations. Like, I expect to see Steve and Miranda in a noodle house.
Oh, okay.
I expect for Richard to do a poolside dinner for Samantha.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so, and then like this use of like getting into these swankier places. It shows the status of the women, or sometimes in some episodes it winds up showing we thought we had status, but we don't really have status. And there's someone always has more status than you.
Yeah.
Like, I think that that's a really smart way that they use the city to kind of come together with who the characters are. Does any of what you've seen feel true to your New York City experience?
Well, I think you said sort of at the top, the fact that it is truly the city that never sleeps. Like, at any point in time, something is available. And I think about that episode where Carrie brings the pizza to Big in the middle of the night. Like, there's always something open. It was not weird that she would leave her apartment in the middle of the night to go to his apartment in the middle of the night. That's just normal. And she had no problem finding a cab. Very different than being in most any other city. And then also, it has always struck me as odd visiting New York City that people actually live there, like have whole lives there. They have kids in school. They have jobs. They have friends. And I mean, I look around when I'm in the city and I like notice these people are just living their everyday lives. That's what's happening here. They're just living their everyday lives. What feels abnormal to me, going to a nightclub that is themed like a bed, is very normal to New Yorkers. And that feels right.
Right. Although I feel like also, like, I just feel like cities have done a really good job, especially of that caliber, exporting a lot of that life out in a way that like it feels like other cities are starting to catch up more than they used to.
Yeah.
But time marches on. But yeah, and I think it is true though, because like, you know, when I moved in town, there were things that got easier and things that got significantly harder. And I think you just kind of get used to wherever you are.
Right.
But yeah,
You
I feel
adapt.
that way when I go to like an island. People live here.
Yeah.
Anyways, so for me, it's like the energy in general, just the hustle, the bustle. Sometimes, you know, we get caught up in the streets with the gals where they'll mow you down.
Yeah.
That's my New York experience, and I am like overly polite.
Yeah.
And
Excuse me. You go first.
Right. It's like a place I'll die.
Yeah.
Okay. Carrie being so pissed off in the street after getting broken up with on the Post-it note episode, when she bangs on the top of the cab and she said, or maybe it's like a guy that's walking through or something. And she's like, I'm walking here.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like the famous Dustin Hoffman line from Midnight Cowboy. Like that energy, like that is very New York energy to me. And then moments of peak New York City energy. You mentioned this one in the opener. It's worth mentioning again. Carrie walking home after her 35th birthday and the hard hats yelling at her in the street.
Oh, yeah.
And she drops the cake and they keep yelling at her more. And she keeps saying she's sorry. It's also a really nice encapsulating scenario of being a woman.
Yeah.
Just,
Oh, gosh, I'm so sorry. My life is falling apart and I'm in your way.
sorry you're seeing it.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry, my pants fell down. What a horrible day for
You.
And then I thought in the one that also just felt in those first episodes, those like interview style things they were doing, that grittiness or whatever. There's one woman, they're like asking about love at first sight. And she says, how can you believe in love at first sight in a city where people jerk off on you in the subway?
Gross.
That's the most New York thing of all.
Gross.
Anything else on peak New York City energy?
The biggest one was like anytime Carrie gets like bumped into on the sidewalk or like you said, like slams on a cab or something. That has happened a couple of times in episodes we've watched, and that seems very New York. And then the part where Miranda's doorman didn't recognize her, I feel like that probably happens a lot because they see so many people and so much transientness there in terms of like Miranda might live there this month, but not next month, you know?
Right.
And so I'm sure the doormen have a hard time keeping up with those things. So that felt very New York to me.
Yeah.
How are you?
I live here.
I'm
having a meltdown.
I'm so sorry. You have to watch it.
But she's not though.
She's not.
Okay. And then just for you personally, do you have like a favorite New York City experience?
When I saw that you had this question for me, I was like, I don't know, man. And then I sat down to write. I have so many. I will limit it to my stepdad won tickets for us to go see the U.S. Open one time. It was like an all-inclusive. This was like a radio contest. It was all-inclusive for 4 people.
Okay.
For 3 people. There were 4 of us still living in the house at that point in time.
Ruh-roh.
So he stayed behind and he let me and my mom and my brother go. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was a very cool experience. We stayed in Times Square. We went to Flushing Meadows to see the US Open. But most importantly, I got to see the MTV studios where they filmed and aired TRL. And that was a very exciting experience for me. So that was one I wanted to share. The other one, I took Kyle on a surprise trip to New York City for his birthday one year. And he had at that point never been to New York City. So being able to introduce someone to a place like New York City is just cool. I mean, that's just something I feel so lucky that I was able to do that for him. We did like all the things. We toured the SNL studios. We went to the Empire State Building. We went to the top of 30 Rock. We, went to, let me think, what else did we do? Oh, we rode over just to see like the Statue of Liberty. We didn't go to the Statue of Liberty, though I have been. And we, most importantly, ate breakfast at Tavern on the Green when there was snow on the ground.
Oh.
So Tavern on the White. It was very special and very New York. Yeah. So that is a top for me. And then the last one, I also got to go to New York City right after college because we won a competition, and part of it was to go to New Jersey, actually, to present our project, but we spent a lot of time in New York City with our like professor mentor person, and she took us to a Broadway show. It was awful. It was Kevin Spacey. It was about the Dust Bowl. Like it was terrible. It was like I think I fell asleep at one point. But we got to go out to dinner with these very cool, and keep in mind I'm 21 at this point.
Okay.
Got to have dinner with these very cool New York City business people who were they were into digital media and like the early days of Facebook and Twitter, and it just felt so cool to have dinner with them. So that was a very special New York City trip.
Oh, very fun.
So a couple of memories.
Yeah.
A few.
Well, I mean, it really, like, I had this whole thought that, like, it's tough because I've been several times, and almost kind of like, I think the first time I went, I was like 9, so like you have different wants.
I probably would have been the same age the first time.
Oh, with the U.S. Open?
No, we lived in Pennsylvania, and we went to New York City that's when I went up to the top of that's when you could go up to the crown of the Statue of Liberty. Yeah. I remember clearly driving through New Jersey. It was terrifying. The same age.
Yeah.
9. Maybe that's a good age for going.
Maybe it could be.
Carolina's going to be like, take me to New York City.
Yeah. I would be too. And I was. And I think for me, I was like, can we get Chinese? Like that.
Aww.
I don't even know why but I was like, I need Chinese in New York City. I'm sure it's something I saw. I don't know. But
Little Trouble in Big China.
There you go. I can't tell you like how much I love the Met. Like it's my favorite museum. I've been to a lot of museums now. I've been to museums around the world. The Met is my favorite. I don't know. There's something, it's just a really special place. Something about it is like just being with that thing about introducing people to New York. I found myself in a position where that was happening over and over again. And eventually it's like a little annoying because you want to do something more than go to
all the same things.
The Empire State Building.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, if I have to go stand on this building one more time.
It's so cold.
It's very cold.
So cold.
Yes. I've also done it like November time frame. That was really stupid, but we did it. But I think one of my very favorite trips was going with all the women in Casey's family. Not all of them, but several of them. And
nope, every last one.
And we did like these very like classic tourist things, but there were a couple on the list I'd never done. Like we went to Peter Luger's. That's still like probably one of the best steaks I've ever had. It was my first and only trip to Serendipity because I would never normally wait a month for reservations.
Serendipity is the place I was trying to think of, and I could not find it. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, we got reservations there.
Oh, I see.
It was lackluster. I didn't enjoy it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love mine. I will tell you, everybody talks about the frozen hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Somebody like his cousin got the frozen hot chocolate. I thought it was not good.
Okay.
But I got another dessert. And I'm telling you, if you just go for whatever has pecans, you've made the right decision.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It just is what it is.
You do know why. Because they're good.
I know why. Because it's Southern. But yeah, we did like Bryant Park and we had delicious food. And when we went to Tavern on the Green, they let me do all the ordering.
Oh.
They said Salina's good at ordering.
That's
so just let
more
her.
Pressure than I could handle, but you do well with that.
It was beautiful.
Aww.
I was like, you want me to order all the food? I was like, all right, everybody, stand back.
We'll have one of everything.
Everybody get
2
your
of
wallets
the pecan
out.
pie.
Yes. This is also incidentally the first time I was 30 that year. So I hear it as I say it. Somehow I got put in the cab with the 24-year-old and the 15-year-old. And as the doors closed and all the other adults were in the car, I went,
uh-oh,
I'm the adult in this car.
Uh-oh.
And I'm going to have to pay for this cab.
That sucks.
And I did.
Oh, no, really? You didn't ask them if they had their mom's credit card?
Absolutely not.
Oh, me neither. I wouldn't have done that.
Especially not for a 24-year-old. I hope she didn't. So
you never can tell with kids these days.
That's true. Trip to Chinatown. I ate so many dumplings. I didn't eat dumplings for 5 years.
I feel like I cannot remember if I've been to Chinatown in New York.
I feel like you would remember. It's got a very specific.
I had to have gone. My parents were such big tourists. Like, if there's a thing that you're supposed to do in a city, we're doing it.
Yeah.
Whether it's fun or not, we're doing it.
Yeah.
And you will enjoy it. So I'm sure we had to have gone. I just don't really remember it.
Yeah. got to go back because the dumplings were good.
Okay.
They were good. It was just like, I think I ate 300 of them.
Well, they're small.
I needed a break. Not once you hit the threshold of 300.
They're small.
Oh, it's like basically diet food. It's like I didn't even eat.
You're so small. You
That's
came
right.
back so tiny.
All right, this is my final question. Favorite New York City movie?
And my favorite way of answering this is by not answering your question the way you asked it.
Oh, great.
Because I have favorite
Were
New
you
York
in a
City.
Movie?
What?
Were you in a movie?
I was.
Okay.
No. I love King of Queens, which is a New York. It's New York City adjacent. Shut up. No, I mean, it's the same thing.
It is New York City.
It's New York City.
It's Queens.
It's not Manhattan, but it's Queens. It's real.
I'm not a boroughist.
It's okay. You just seemed like a little judgmental.
Not a boroughist. Queens is nice. Parts of it.
It's
so King parts of Manhattan.
King of Queens. Their little place in Queens looks delightful. Yeah. It's not overly like city driven, but there are some moments where you remember you're in New York City, and I appreciate that. Of course, Friends. But truthishly, my favorite New York City movie is Home Alone 2.
Me too.
Is it really?
Oh my God, yes.
Isn't it like the first time?
One cameo, it remains my favorite New York City movie.
Largely unblemished.
Yes.
But it's like the first time you see New York City at Christmas and you see it through the eyes of a kid.
You're in a toy store.
All you ever wanted to do was go to New York City at Christmas.
All I ever wanted to do is the same thing I want to do right now, Nikki Mays.
Extra large cheese pizza just for you.
A bathtub. In the plaza, surrounded by my favorite candies, cookies, chips, and other salty delights.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I want.
Yeah.
That's living
Kevin,
to me.
You spent $600 on room service.
900.
Okay.
I watched it again this Christmas. My higher brow answer is Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Okay. I have a lower brow answer.
Still kind of basic, but it's higher brow. And then my favorite rewatchable that's New York City driven is Devil Wears Prada.
That was my lower brow. That one and Coyote Ugly. I have a very specific New York City vibe, an early aughts vibe that I go for.
Hey, there's no wrong answer.
I was thinking about movies and I was like, wait a minute. Coyote Ugly was New York City, right?
Look at you. I didn't even. Okay, first of all, banger soundtrack.
So good.
I just Googled it because I didn't even have the brain capacity for it.
It's hard,
I was
right?
like, just remind me.
It's hard.
But when you said for TV shows, I would say Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Oh, yes. 100%. They do a really nice job of giving you a clear sense of place and time with that. And there's I didn't live back then, so I'm sure it kind of was crappy, but like there's no better time than that time in New York City. Do you know what I mean? Like she got the cool clothes. She got like to live in these cool places. Yeah. It seemed wonderful.
Oh, the clothes, the mute. There is nothing. And that show was so well done.
It was so well done.
Okay. Any other things that you want to mention at all? Anything. Concrete jungles where dreams are made of.
I tried to make Levain cookies on my own, like the big giant chocolate chip cookies, and they didn't turn out as good. So if you ever find yourself there and you want to grab me some, that would be nice.
Okay. Did you want to try again and maybe like share some?
I can do that.
Okay.
I can do that.
In honor of the show.
Of course.
Okay. I could make you a Cosmo.
I would love that.
I used to bartend.
One other thing that I would mention is that when we were in New York City with Kyle and we went to 30 Rock, I also got a Today Show mug, like the ones that they have on the desk. They're like white and Today is in orange and the inside is orange. And it's still one of my favorite coffee mugs.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
I love that.
And with that, I'm finished.
Well, you know what they say. If you can make it here, something, something, something. You know the drill. DM us, email us, or contact us from the website and find us all over the socials, kind of, these days. And that's this week's Extra Sugar.